Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai being the name of his beloved Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. This the brother Yair Radha, the WFI Indiana camp, coming at y'all with a quick cold cut through the spirit. Simply going into don't go back to that sin. Don't go back to that old man. Don't go back to that man that you was before Day of Atonement. All right, don't be somebody that afflicted yourself for 24 hours straight. You afflicting yourself. You humbling yourself before the Most High. You understand. Wearing sackcloth, putting those ashes up under you. You understand. Being somebody that was sincerely sorry just to go right back to that same man, the same sins, a couple days later. All right, don't be that person. Right? Don't go back to that sin, man. Right? Keep that momentum going. Keep that momentum generating. Keep that spirit that you was in on the Day of Atonement. You understand? Keep that going. All right? Don't go back to that sin. Right? So we're going to hop right into it. Right? Go to Isaiah 58 and start at verse 5. Right? It's going to be quick encouragement through the spirit. Right? This is the book of Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 5. It says, "Is it such a fast that I have chosen? A day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head as the bulrush and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou call this a fast, an acceptable day to the Lord?" Right? Would I call this a fast, an acceptable day unto the Lord? Right? It says, "Is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness?" So you didn't afflict yourself, you understand, for no reason. You didn't afflict yourself, you understand, and stay in the spirit as much as you could on that day, right? Repenting, praying continuously, praying without ceasing, so on and so forth, for no reason, right? You did it to have those prayers be heard on high, right? You did it to humble yourself before the Lord. You did it because we need that forgiveness from the Most High God. We need it. We need our transgressions blotted out, man. We need these bands of wickedness to leave from us, to be loosed from us, right? Verse 6 again, "Is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke?" So that's why you fasted, man. To loose yourself from these different sins that was besetting you, man. To loose yourself from these sins, you understand, that was dragging you. All that weight, man, that was dragging you, hindering you. You understand? Garment, all types of dirty and dingy, holes in it, all type of stuff, man. And you fasted, you understand, to cleanse that garment. You fasted to make sure it wasn't any holes in there anymore, to make sure those things got sewed up. You fasted to make sure that those dirt marks and dinginess and all that different thing, stuff like that, right, got cleansed out, right? Made sure your garment was ironed out, so on and so forth, which is what loosened the bands of wickedness. Letting go of whatever sin that was besetting you, letting go of whatever sin was hindering you from moving in sincerity and in truth, from moving and being the best version spiritually that you can be. All right? So that's why you fasted, and you got to remember that. You can't let that go for naught. You can't let all that be in vain, right? Real quick, another classic real quick, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew 17. All right? It's the book of Matthew, chapter 17. I'm going to start at verse 21, right to the point. It says, "Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting." So you did these different things because you understood, man, hey, I need this day. I needed that day. That day was given to us by the Most High God to be able to fast these sins off, to be able to humble ourselves before the Lord, that he may, Lord willing, be attentive unto our prayers, and our prayers may be able to be heard on high. And not only that our prayers be heard on high, but that our sins may be blotted out. You understand? If it be his will, to have that fresh start, to have that new start, essentially, so to speak, right? To be able to move in a newness of spirit, to kill off that old man and bury him dead, man, to leave off from those different things. Because while you understood that, hey, those things, guess what? They don't leave but by prayer and fasting, right? So with that being said, you got to make sure that you don't let that day go in vain, and that you just did that day, you was good that day, then the next day you was all right, then the day after that you was like then the day after that, now you full grown, you back in full form Negro mode, like how you was before Day of Atonement. Don't do that. Don't be like that. Don't be that person that reverts back to that old man. It ain't even been a week yet. Even if it was a week, even if it had been a week, guess what? You still don't go back, man. Still keep going strong. But it's been a couple days. Don't go back to that sin, man. Don't go back and make and that all you afflicting yourself for 24 hours. Some brothers may have started it or entered into a fast even prior to then. 48 hours. All for you to go right back. Don't be that way, man. Don't be that person. You understand? Do not be that person. Right? Let's go to the book of Ezra. Chapter 8. Because you entreated of the Lord, man. You entreated of the Lord. I want verse 22. 23. Right? It's the book of Ezra, chapter 8 and verse 23. It says, so we fasted and besought our God for this. It says, and he was entreated of us. So on that day, you praying, you giving up all these prayers, throwing up all these different prayers, man. You got all these lists of prayers written out. You even saying them in the Hebrew tongue, throwing up these prayers, right? Even if you didn't say it in the Hebrew tongue, regardless, you throwing up these prayers, you humbling yourself before your God, right? You may have sought for it with tears, man. You crying, whatever the case may be. You repenting, understanding that what you was doing was wrong, understanding that you need the mercy and grace of the Most High God, understanding that you need the blood of Yahweh, understanding all these different things. You besought the Lord. You fasted. You besought the Most High God. And he was entreated of us. So with that, guess what? You don't want that. You don't want to go right back to meditating on the folly, madness, vanity, moving in the spirit of foolishness, moving in the spirit of whatever those things were that were hindering you. You don't want to go back to those different things. All right, let's go to Psalms chapter 66, because what the Lord say, right? This is the book of Psalms chapter 66 and verse 18. It says, if I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. You see that? So you don't want to regard iniquity in your heart, which is what? Your mind. Meditating upon mischief, folly, vanity, all manner of wickedness. You contemplating on if you should go back to that old man. You contemplating on if you should go back to that sin. You contemplating on if you should do this and that and that and that. Nah. No need to think about it. No need to meditate on it. You trying to have a counsel with yourself on if you should go back to that sin or not. Guess what? I'm telling you, the Lord is telling you, right? The scriptures, your forefathers, they telling you, guess what? Hey, don't go back, man. Don't make it in vain. Because guess what? If you regard iniquity in your heart, the Lord won't hear it. Just like it tell you in the book of John 9 and 31. Right? For the Lord heareth not sinners. You understand? We don't want to fall into that category because we continuously do the same thing over and over again. Over and over again. Over and over again. Day of Atonement just passed a couple of days ago. Guess what? Now you right back to the Negro you was before Day of Atonement. Don't be like that. Okay? Don't be like that. Let's go to the book of Job 13. All right. It's the book of Job, chapter 13, verse 23. It says, how many are mine iniquities and sins? Make me to know my transgression and my sin. So you, during that time, you understand, in the spirit, right, that you was in during Day of Atonement, You asking the Lord, make me to know my iniquity and my sin. Make me to understand where I was doing wrong at. Father, forgive me for those different things, etc., etc., etc. Examining yourself. Because that's a part of it as well. Examining yourself, seeing that iniquity within yourself, asking the Most High God, like Job did, that look, hey, show me where I do err at. Right? Show me where I was going off at. Show me what I was doing wrong. Show me this, show me that. Right? And that's a beautiful thing to ask the Most High God. That's a beautiful thing to still ask the Most High God even after. That ain't just a thing where you fasting or just a thing for a day of atonement. That's something that you should always ask the Lord and pray for. Right? To see where your transgression is, to see where your sin is, to see where you're going off. So those things, I can tell you in the book of, and we bring this out a lot, right? Bring this out a lot in it's the book of Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 1. It says, a laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich. Here's the point that I want. It says, and he that contemneth small things shall fall little by little. So sometimes you may look at the small things and say to yourself, it ain't that deep. Or you may overlook it or might not think about it because to you they're small things. Not understanding, hey, those things are the very things that can grow into bigger things and snowball happen. You got the snowball effect, and those be the very things that overthrow you because you looked at it like a small thing, because you felt like it wasn't that deep, because you feel like you could deal with it later. Now those are the very things that you will put off from day to day, the very things that you said not that deep, the very things that you said I'll figure it out when I figure it out. Those are the very things that's overthrowing you now. Now all hell breaking loose, all because you looked over the little things, all because you didn't think about or ask the Most High God to search you. You didn't examine yourself thoroughly. You examining other people but not examining yourself. So now you in a situation where you jammed up spiritually. Could be spiritually, physically, carnal, whatever the case may be. All because you looked over the little things. All because you didn't properly examine yourself. All because you didn't ask the Most High God to show you where you do err at. Right? And don't go back to those things. You cannot go back to those things, because when you do that, if you do that, you just like that's like moving like a beast. It's like moving like a beast, right? Let's go to Revelations real quick. 22, and I want verse 14, right? This book of Revelations 22 and 14, it says, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. It says, for without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So the point is, it said for without are dogs, because when you moving in that state of sin, when you moving in that state of reverting back over and over to the same thing, that's like being a beast. It's like being a beast, right? Let's get that in the classic, right, in the book of Psalms, right, chapter 73. All right, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 73. I'm gonna start at the top real quick, and then I'm gonna jump down to the point, right? Because when you read verse 3, watch this. So this is Psalm 73 and 3. It says, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. So one of the things that was befalling him is being envious of the foolish, seeing what they doing and saying and kind of feeling a way about it. You understand? Being envious, covetousness, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, that's a sin. So when you go down, verse 22, it says, so foolish was I and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee. So you don't want to move in that beast-like estate of just being in sin or meditating upon mischief, meditating upon madness, folly, vanity, going back to the same thing over and over again, moving in the spirit of insanity. All right, you don't want to be likened unto that. All right, let's go to Proverbs, since we right here. right? Proverbs 26. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 11, right? It says, Proverbs 26 and 11, it says, as a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. So question becomes, are you going to return back to that vomit? That same thing that you cleaned yourself from. You threw it up. When your body rejects something, when you cough, when you throw something up, when you sneeze, when you do these different things, that's because your body is rejecting it. When you sneezing is an act of your body letting you know that you need to get something out of whatever your senses, whatever's disturbing your senses. And your body naturally is trying to reject those things, whatever it may be. So it causes you to sneeze. Same thing when it comes to vomit. When you're vomiting, right? And Salakia for kind of being, but nevertheless, when you vomiting, that's because your body is rejecting something that's inside of you. So in like manner, when you fasted on the Day of Atonement, guess what you was doing? You was cleansing yourself. And what did you do? On a spiritual level, you vomited those sins up. You got to the point to where you wanted to reject those things, so you rejected them and vomited them up. It would be folly. It would be a sad case. I won't even say folly, even though it is, but I'll just say it'll be a sad case for you to return right back to that vomit that you threw up spiritually, man. It'll be sad. And that's what dogs do. And surely you don't want to be a beast before the Lord. The world, they'll say, oh yeah, he a dog, man. Yeah, he a dog, because he good on the court. Or they'll say, that dude a beast. But guess what? You don't want to be a beast unto the Lord, man. You don't want to be like a beast unto the Lord. Because what did we just read in the book of Revelation chapter 22? It said, but for without are dogs. Meaning what? Without these laws, statutes, and commandments, and putting these things forth. Guess what? You like a beast unto the Lord. And those, guess what? They don't have part. They don't have part in that paradise. Right? So reading it one more time, right? Proverbs 26 and 11, it says, as a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. Are you a fool? Are you a dog? Lord willing not. Lord willing not. You understand? But a man's actions show what he is. Let's go to the book of last one real quick. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 34, verse 25. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 34, verse 25. It says, he that washeth himself after the touching of a dead body, if he touch it again, what availeth his washing? Meaning, if you touch a dead body, you become unclean. And then if you wash yourself, you understand, just to go back and touch the body again, what was the point of washing yourself? If you was just going to go back and touch it again, you should have just stayed unclean. You understand? You shouldn't have took a shower in the first place and washed yourself. So that shower that you took, it became vanity based off of what proceeded afterwards, which is the touching of the body again. Verse 26, it says, so it is with a man that fasteth for his sins and goeth again and doeth the same. So don't make that fast. Don't make the Day of Atonement. Don't make you afflicting yourself vain. Don't make it vanity. Don't make it for naught. That old Negro, guess what? He can stay in the dirt. He can stay in the ground. Don't let him get back up, man. Keep him where he at. You understand? It says, who will hear his prayer? Or what doeth his humbling profit him? Meaning, what good does it do? Or did it do at all? Is the Lord going to continue to regard your prayer? Cause he like, all he doing is going right back. He do this, he do the same thing. He do the fast. After he do the fast, he go the next day or the next couple of days, he go right back. So why should I listen? Remember, the Lord doesn't have to regard your prayers or your fast just because you pray and just because you fast. Make sure it's being done in sincerity when you do these things. All right. So, Lord willing, brothers and sisters, understand not to go back to those things. Right? Remember why you fasted. Remember why you partook in the Day of Atonement. Remember, think upon those things. Don't think upon the folly madness and you contemplating. You want to go back to the old you because it felt good. Nah. You understand? Don't go back. All right. Continue to move forward. Continue to keep the momentum up. Continue to stay in the spirit in these last days. Right? Because we almost home. So with that, all praise to honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Lord willing, brothers and sisters was edified. Kwam Yashala.